Hey, yo, check this out.
Did you know Drake's here tonight? I thought Drake was your homie. What? No? Drake's my homie. Now since Drake's here, he's over here on the side. I'm gonna do this one for him. It's dedicated to you.
Mm. So now I know. Most fans are gonna look at this and say, "Hey, man, that's a Limp Bizkit concert. Those are Limp Bizkit fans, Frank Dirk fans. They come to hear Limp Bizkit. They don't want to hear nothing about a Drake, and so they're not really booing Drake. They're kind of booing the situation. They're there to see Limp Bizkit. They're not there to see Drake. So they're booing that aspect. Don't bring Drake out. We're here to see you." So that's why the fans, when they were asked about this later, they said, "No, we weren't booing Drake. He actually likes when we boo him. He actually steps up when he gets booed. That's kind of a challenge for him. It's a sign of endearment. It's y'all don't understand. It's a thing between us and him. It's no disrespect. But now those of us that know better, we know good and well that that wasn't about a sign of respect. See, if you've been around as long as I've been around, and you've been a part of a lot of different shows, a lot of different performances, both on stage and as a viewer in the crowd watching, you've seen some things, you've heard some things, and you know the difference between. Now there are some situations where you might some a certain roar, a certain chant may kind of sound like a boo, but when you really listen, it's like nah, they're not really booing. They're kind of woo woo, kind of like the old Arsenio Hall thing. That thing will kind of sound like a boo if enough people are doing it, and if you're doing it a certain way, it might at first, maybe the first few seconds or first few minutes of it, it may sound like a boo, but when you really hear it, it's like nah, they're not booing. That's a chant. We know what a boo sounds like. Boo. And then the undertone, like if you go back and listen to that, you hear the bass, the bottom on it. That lets you know. And then all the comments and the words and the rants that you're hearing, the yells that you're hearing, they're booing Drake. They're booing. Now, it could be a situation where these are diehard Limp Bizkit fans. We know how most of the rock fans are. They kind of really only want their thing. Don't bring nothing else out here. We're here to see you. We're here for this, for what you do. Don't bring nothing else out here. This ain't a Drake moment. It's not a Drake concert. We don't want to see Drake. But in those situations, they're not going to boo. It's not going to be a anger, a frustration, or any kind of disrespect. They're just kind of gonna nah, man, we don't want this. We don't want whatever it is that you're about to do, because they don't really know what's about to happen. They don't know if he's about to come out and perform. They don't know if he's just coming out to say what up. They don't know if he's coming out at all. All he did was just say, "Hey, man, Drake is here." And if this is Toronto, if this man has the love in that city and in that country that y'all want us to believe that he has, he's just God in that city. There's no way, shape, or form that he's ever going to be booed, even if it's not his crowd, even if it's a rock crowd, not a hip hop crowd. They're not gonna boo Drake. If they love him or have any kind of admiration and true respect for him, they're not gonna boo. They'll applaud. If anything, they just won't do anything. They won't really give it any reaction. You know what I'm saying? They'll just kind of sit and say, hey man, this ain't a Drake situation. We don't want to see Drake. Okay, he's here. Okay, great, but please don't bring him out here. We don't want him. It'll be that kind of silence, really. You know what I'm saying? They won't boo. They won't cheer. They won't boo. They may or may not applaud, but they're going to let it be known if if it's pure love and pure respect for Drake, they're going to make sure that they send that. They're going to make sure if they're not trying to disrespect him, they're not going to give any appearance of disrespect. Now, so let's acknowledge that those are definitely boos. They're definitely booing Drake. We can't move forward until we acknowledge that crowd is definitely booing Drake. So for all intents and purposes, let's just say we all agree that Toronto crowd is booing Drake. Now, the next question is why? Why are they booing him? Why are they being so derogatory and so disrespectful to just the mention of Drake's name? He never walked out on that stage. But just him, Fred Durst mentioned it, or I think that was Fred Durst. I apologize if that's not who that was, or if if I'm saying the wrong name or something. I apologize. But all he did was just mention Drake's name. And they immediately gave that negative response, that negative reaction. Why? I guarantee with that same crowd, if you say, hey, Nas is here, they're not going to boo Nas. And Nas is not from Canada. Nas is not from Toronto. But they're not going to boo Nas. Anybody that has any respect for what Nas does, whether you're a fan of him or not, you know that man is very good at what he does. And there have been times where you had appreciated his work, his music. You're not going to boo him. You'll just say, oh man, there's Nas. Limp Bizkit is bringing Nas out. I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder what's about to happen. Because whatever it is, it's a Limp Bizkit featuring Nas situation. So you're still going to get what you came for. This is just a bonus. So, hey, let's hear what this is. They're not going to boo it. If anything, they just won't really respond or react at all. They'll just say, wow, okay, what's going on? What are they doing? They're not going to boo Nas. They're not going to boo Jay. I don't think they will boo Common. I don't think they will boo Black Thought. I don't think they will boo anyone that they respect. I don't have to be a fan of you to respect you and what you do. So why are they so disgusted and so done with just the name of Drake in his own home city that he shows so much love to and spends money on? Could it be that they, long before they seen right through him and they kind of know what he is and more importantly what he's not, and they're kind of done with him and kind of fed up with the character of Drake just as much as us non-Drake fans are? I mean, you got to pay attention to the man's hometown. Even though those of y'all that want to live in this delusional world that Drake can't do no wrong and everything he does is great and all his music is great and all y'all just hating, and so what he don't write, so what he buying other people's songs, and so what he's sabotaging new artist career and culture vulturing and just so what? He's Drake and y'all just jealous. Y'all just mad. Even those that feel that way, you should be concerned why he's being booed in his own city. Respect the fact that they may know something that you haven't realized yet. And this is just for the pure music fans. These are for the guys that's here for the music and loves the art and respects the art really more so than the artist. You know, when I hear a song that I like, I love the song. I don't really care too much about who the artist is. If they did a good job creating that art and doing that song, then I'm with it. I love it. I don't care about the artist. I don't really care who or what they are, what they, you know what I'm saying? Now, there are some people that stand for certain things that, I mean, okay, we just can't, we can't support them because of what they stand for. So even with good art, man, I can't support that. I can't give you that support because of what you finance, because of what you then turn around and um, give your support to. So there are those situations, but that's a different conversation. That's not. I'm not talking about Drake when I say things like that. I mean, y'all kind of got an idea of what I mean when I say stuff like that. I'm just saying that to say, for the people that respect the art more than the artist, you have to be concerned about, why in this man's hometown that should love him more than anyone, why are they so disdained from, just the mention of Drake? By just the mention of Drake. Um, it should be a cause for concern. The pure Drake fans, and most Drake fans aren't hip hop fans. They're just Drake fans. So, maybe that don't bother you. Maybe that you'll just write that off as, oh, they just hating. They just haters. Toronto is just haters. The whole city are just haters. This is Drake. How dare you? For those that feel that way, I guess this don't mean nothing to you. But for the music fans out there and the people that love the art, why is the city that should appreciate this man's art more than anyone, or his artistry more than anyone, why are they booing? It's one thing if he comes out on the stage and he says something out of place and they boo, or he comes out and just has a wrong energy and so they boo, or he comes out and he tries to take the show over or try to go into one of his songs or something in a crowd that's not there to see him. We can understand those boos. Those, you just laugh at that and say, wow, they just wasn't trying to hear it. But they just, the idea of him, they're just basically letting Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit know, if y'all thinking about bringing him out here, don't do it. And this is the biggest artist in the world. This is the number one artist in the world. And they're booing him in his home city. Y'all remember a while ago, I don't know if y'all remember Magoo, Timbaland and Magoo, and R.I.P. to Magoo. I think he passed away a while back, but I remember a long time ago, when he was trying to do his thing, and everybody loved Timbaland, everybody loved Missy, everybody loved that whole movement, but they were just having a hard time getting Magoo to kind of hold his own, and for all intents and purposes, he was trying. I mean, he was what he was. I mean, everybody called him a Q-Tip clone, and even with that, he wasn't really coming off with that. And I remember reports came out that he got booed in his own city. He tried to perform. I don't know if it was a concert or if it was just a pop-up situation, or if he was just at a place and tried to take the stage and they just didn't want to hear it. But it was in his hometown of Virginia, I believe. I think he's from Virginia. I'm not sure what I just know the reports came out that he got booed. He was unable to perform in his own city. Now, if your own city don't love you, how can you convince the rest of the country to love you? I mean, that just sounds like it's not impossible, I guess, but it just sounds like a very, very difficult task. Because that's the first thing that you look for when you see an artist. You say, okay, well, where is he from? You know, how does that city feel about him? Like, where does he stand in that city? Like, you go to certain places, it might be an artist that you don't really like, that you ain't really feeling, but you go to their city and you say something negative about them in their city, and they gonna let you know, like, oh, whoa, nah, you can't do that here. That's our man, that's our guy. And you realize, at least in that moment, while you're in that city, you better show that artist some respect. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Drake is way beyond this. That's what's so surprising, is because we know Toronto has showed him love. I don't think this is anything about the catalog or the work and the plight of Drake. I think there's something going on recent, and it's beyond the beef. It's beyond Not Like Us. It's beyond his, whether the respect that they and love that they might have for Kendrick. It's beyond that. It's something else that he's doing, something else that's happening, something else that's said, or maybe it's his audacity through the city. Like you heard the recent situation that Schoolboy Q, when he said he had a show scheduled in Toronto, or a concert scheduled in Toronto, a show, whatever we're calling it. And he barely made it off the plane. They said, nah, that performance is not going to happen. And according to Schoolboy Q, the message was given to him that no TDE artist is going to perform in Toronto, until further notice. You know what I'm saying? Basically shutting it down. So maybe it's things like that. Maybe it's that. Maybe you have a crowd of people that, at the end of the day say, man, who does this guy think he is, to where he gets to decide who comes in here and performs. You don't speak for us. You know what I'm saying? You don't own us. Like, you don't get to say who we get to sit here and enjoy. Like, with all due respect and the love that we have for you, my brother, you don't get to cancel concerts that we're paying for and that we are asking and wanting to see. So maybe it's that, plus maybe a little something else. But the city of Toronto is mad at Drake. And I understand those are Limp Bizkit fans, but music fans are music fans. And if you're telling me this is the number one artist in the world, there's no way that out of 20,000 people, nobody in that building has had any love or respect for Drake. You know what I'm saying? At least not enough to boo him. You know what I'm saying? So if they're booing him, then it's beyond, it's a problem. And for those that really want to be concerned, for these so-called Drake fans that are just, they're going to the mat for him and just refusing to concede, and refusing to say that he lost a battle, refusing to say that he's not as great as they want to say and like to think that he is. You need to be concerned about why this man is why the name is being booed in his own city, to where something was planned. They were about to do something. I don't know if they were about to do a song, or if he was just about to just show Drake some love, come out. We've seen that at other concerts where artists bring other artists out, and it's usually an artist, well, not usually, but a lot of times it's an artist from another genre, like a rock band brings out a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Or a rapper brings out a pop star, or, a rock and roll artist or heavy metal artist, you know what I'm saying? Just to show love. And the crowd, even though it's their crowd, they show love and respect to that artist that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And they just sit for that moment. Whatever's about to happen, they just sit there and witness that moment. If the person's coming out to perform something, or if the person is coming out just to wave their hand and say what up and let y'all know he in the building, whatever, the crowd generally gives that artist that respect. This time they weren't trying to hear it. And this is the so-called biggest artist in the world. And they just weren't trying to hear it. Whatever this is, fuck that. We don't want it. You Drake fans should be concerned. You US Drake fans should be concerned about that. But that's all I had, man. I just wanted to speak in on this, man, and I just found it quite interesting. It's definitely worth talking about, man. I know there are a lot of important things going on. We have the election, and we have another, police shooting that's dealing with right now. I don't want anyone to think that I'm distracted or not focused on the more important things. I am DJ Eccentric. My focus is music and entertainment. So I try to give my input on that. I don't speak too much on politics. Um, Certainly, y'all don't want to hear what I got to say about the police. I would like to keep my page and my content, just on a certain, just within a certain boundary. But I do want to mention it because it is not without notice, not without warrant. Um, but again, DJ Icentric, please do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit whatever platform you're seeing this on. Please give it the love that comes with that platform. I would love to keep doing things like this, and I can do it more often as long as it's worthwhile. It'll get bigger, it'll get better if you all give it that opportunity to. Again, DJ Icentric out.